as congested, and so just going for some box fight plays. Eventually then getting caught in the storm, but still looking to fight. But that once again plays right into their hands. Artists falling in their sights.
They're part of the pack that has to make that big rotate. No one's...
Southeast kind of just puts them and the whole lobby in between where they need to go. So they're gonna have to get creative on this rotate, especially with the mats Slove's working with. They're gonna have to get real lucky with the timings. But you can see him making it work so far. And it's actually happening for them. Slove barely having to use many builds, finally starting to run into a bit of trouble. The players ahead of them looking back, and yeah, it was just a matter of time until somebody got a big tag on. But Asta's clearing the way.
There was a big brick drop just right beside him. Missed it as he dropped down. It's slightly further back, 3 builds.
Props to Asta, because he made that rotation work even with the minimal amount they had to work with.
It's huge. Might have to just still move again. I think the best thing they can hope for maybe is the bounce back.
I think we get a pullback.
You think so?
I think we always get pullbacks on the Ape, so
I feel like we go even further southeast.
It's going north. It's going north. I've read the script. I've seen it too many times. I've seen it way too many times. We always get that Ape zone pullback, it feels like. And that will save some of those teams we just saw rotating and struggling, right? It'll give them an extra minute to breathe and think as they pass their...
Wait, I need to do something fast.
For the job, 24 kills from Hunter.
Oh.
Isn't it time you started working towards your future? By going out and out.
This. Yeah. I did this. Oh my god.
On them. One team can make the difference if they're locked onto your sights, and they have no one else to really look at. So I feel like Roban gets shot again, but now they have to move too. So them getting in the zone gives the Axe Force a little bit of time to get in the zone too. Still dangerous teams beside him.
Yeah, and having to use the brick and metal he has left. There's some wood here for him to farm, but people already farmed it down to just one hit, so won't even bother to knock down that tree.
In the game.
Distance from Axe Force and Roban. I mean, Anasa might just cut him off on the bottom right, but put some walls down. Meanwhile, on the left, where there's still a few knocks going through and through, Karmi's down. Shaco's confident position again. They tried for height one time. Looks like they're gonna just hold on to it for now. Not in a dominant way, but this might just be their lair.
Yeah, again, just not looking necessarily to dominate height.
Yeah.
To play on these high layers where there isn't gonna be anyone on their layer to give them problems.
Everyone who's kind of passing by them is just looking to survive. No one's trying to just get into this specific box. Desperation, absolute shambles is below them. And they can interact with that too, right? As soon as this zone starts to move, we're going up again. This is unfamiliar, uncharted territory. Might be some old builds under Rift Island, but this is the zone that everyone's have to use mats for.
Or slurp, oh my god. This is
Surprise, look who it is once again, trying to claim height first moving. Clearly after watching back the games yesterday, Cammy and Seti realizing that there was a big gap in this lobby for somebody to play height first moving. And even though this isn't a typical style, they are making things work.
They're gonna put all the pedal to the metal now. They have to get as many points as possible from height for the moment. That might be a shot from them too. Axe Force 1 HP as he tries to move. Yeah, it was Cammy that took out Roban. Axe Force in an absolute shambles position now. But finds a big shot onto gold to just keep it moving.
Doesn't get the chance to go for the loot though, has to focus on zone. And if I was him, maybe I would have gone for it because yeah, eventually goes down.
Everyone's gonna be just absolutely bombarded down below. There's so many little bit of layer switches on what natural low ground is. You gotta just keep watching out. Nice team beam from Swizzy and Future. Up top on height, Cammy and Seti have to do everything to get as many eliminations right now. They will run out of gas. It's tough for them to drop down and get refreshes. Need to convert on points very early.
One of them has to commit though. One of them will have to go down and look in the zone. Maybe if they have slurps, pop a slurp, run in the zone, get some mats and get back up, because they can't afford what happened last game to happen again.
You saw the pressure from Rift Island though and what's happened earlier on in these zones. No one really has any mats. Also, beside a generator inside the water, is trying anything he can just to blend in.
Oh
It's
my
like Malabuka's
God,
block. He's 1
nice.
HP free.
Nice,
Malabuka,
Malabuka.
no
Oh my
Thomas,
God.
but I'm not sure if he needs them this time. The clutch, the drive, the movement from him is looking really good.
Malabuka is so clean when he's in his element, in that flow state. And it looks like he's kicking in right now, wrapping back round into the zone, but there will be players staring up above. You see the height takes come
Cammy's
through
dead.
again. Cammy and Seti, they look like they're losing it all. Swizzy and Putrick have come for what is rightfully
This is
theirs.
again.
And it looks like they will be able to hold on.
They lead the lobby, now they lead the sky, sitting on top of their throne above everyone else. Basically just one more zone to go here. Seti's still alive though, so he might have lost tight, but the game's not totally lost for him just yet.
Yeah, it does have those slurps to play around with. One splash, and the bandage is even being popped.
So many solos are in front of him, so all Seti has to do is just wait.
Wait his moment, wait his time, the opportunities will be there. Malabuka running back into the storm and they might collide at some point. He's wary of height though, he knows there's someone behind him now. He's heard the breacher going off from Seti, but he won't really be able to do much with it.
Yep.
The timing doesn't work in his favor.
Just 1 second to shoot, that's it. The med mist has to be held. Swizzy Putrick now, down below. Kali Fasroki, somewhere around them. Seti hits
What?
Malabuka inside the sword.
Yeah,
More
look
chances for
at
him to
him.
keep moving. Swizzy completely out of gas.
So bad.
Seti might be rolling in from the backside to look for another shot real soon. He's going straight for height. Seti has height. 2 more match 2. Big shot from Kali though in a return, but not enough for Seti. Kali holds on at the cost of Fasroki.
And now he just has to finish up the game. But look who he has to do it against is Swizzy and Putrick. And they're feeling mighty fine, mighty strong. This game has been so good for them.
Yeah,
To even get to this point is just a sign of their dominance. Why they've left the way. But Kylie will do his best to stop it. Takes down one, looking for the other. Big shot to win. Kylie will do it. The 1v2. He should never win in that situation against the leaders of the day. But Kylie is Kylie. He is him. And he wins the game.
From the clouds, lightning fast decision making. Double edits, blocks, 2 shots off. He made it look perfect. Kylie, what a win.
In his element, making it look easy. It looks like he's fighting in creative or something at the end there. Mantling up, takes down Seti, says, I'll take that height for free. And then the final 1v2, he had them pincered in, you could see them every step of the way, and they just weren't ready for him, Shayo.
Not at all. I love the block off too. There's just no chance. And Putrick and Swizzy did everything in that moment to stay in the game. That, I think, that specific game, day 2's game 2 is the definition of survival. No one wanted to go down.
And after a tragic first game for Kylie and for Strokey, to come back in game number 2 and win in that kind of fashion, that says a lot about their mentality, their resilience, their heart.
Stylish, fantastic, an absolute flourish there from Kylie. I want to see the reactions of everyone across the world, but specifically 3 people who are on the desk.
Guys, thank you very much. Kylie, if you are putting together a new highlight reel, just put the end of that on loop over and over again. What a finish to game 2, Mini.
Yeah, fantastic finish. Just showing why we should really be looking at this duo. Because, of course, Kylie, what a solo clutch that was. Hitting huge damage shots and just blocking off other damage as well right there at the end. Perfectly played stuff. I mean, you don't often see solos going for height like that, but he did it.
Excitement, confidence, domination is what we saw from Kylie in those last moments. But it's also what led up to that is the key to how he ended up securing that victory royale. Looking for height when it was the perfect moment to strike. And just like that, Kylie continued moving forwards. There's the quick high ground retake, taking a quick shot onto Seti, finishing him off, but was the most important was that 1v2 in the end. You should have seen the reactions we had from that clutch. I mean, taking down the leaders of this tournament. Kylie was not showing any nerves.
Mini, supremely confident, but that also requires so much bottle.
It really does. I mean, so many players, when they're in that situation, when you don't have materials, you need to try and find a refresh, they'll look down. They'll look, how can I try and make myself in that sort of low ground section? But he looks up. He looks up at Seti on high ground. He thinks, yes, that's my target. He's a solo. And he takes him out in fine fashion, of course, getting him enough refresh in that endgame. He could have even gone even further. I think he dropped a med miss there as well. So there could have even been a longer heal off for him, but he just got it done early, which is great to see.
Who else is looking up? Let's take a look at the standings. I'm predicting that we might see a little bit of movement here.
Ooh.
And Seti and Cammy jumping up 2 spots. Look, you can see again what it means for Kylie and his duo here to rocket up 14 spots to Carter.
Yeah, really good for Kylie and Fastroki now in qualifying range for the Global Championships. But look at the difference between first and second. 466 points versus 56, over 100-point different, but this is looking incredibly difficult.
Yeah, we spoke about Swizzy and Futrik at the beginning of the show, and they did it first game. They've done it second game as well. They're just keeping on playing the way that they know how to play and the way that is working. I don't see anyone stopping them right now because not only is their Storm Surge mid-game so sound, it's also their end game sticking together, hip to hip. We saw it with Swizzy and Shimoki back in the day as well, but now Swizzy and Futrik, they're carrying on that momentum, they're carrying on that end game prowess, and I love to see it.
You can see them actually taking out Cammy and Seti on the high ground. It seems like the roles have been reversed here, seeing Cammy and Seti up above, and Swizzy Futrik kind of with a similar play style to what we'd see from Cammy and Seti, with the same amount of consistency. I mean, from Game 7 to Game 8 to being first place after Day 1 Grand Finals here on EU, this duo is just looking unstoppable.
Do you think we're seeing more teams here after yesterday's play? They think, you know what, the high ground is up for grabs?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot more turnover of that. I think we're seeing teams that are looking up, you know, Seti and Cammy, of course, being one of them. And even Thomas and Malabuka having a really, really solid game right there. Look at that, jumping up 15
We said where were they?
Now they're
right,
here.
They're right back. Let's take a look at them in action.
We found him. Here we can see Malabuka. We actually saw him clutching up in the last moment as well, but how did he get there with that legendary Mammoth pistol, taking those shots, hitting the shots needed to find those eliminations, find those refreshes, but also staying along Thomas HD, the dynamic duo continuing strong.
Yeah, Levin talked about it earlier as well. We haven't really seen too much when it comes to fighting from this duo in Day 1. Now they seem to be getting that confidence back. They seem to be getting a bit more stride in their step. I like it. This is exactly what we like to see from Malabuka. Of course, clutching up right there at the end. Huge elimination points this duo. And it's been a little bit tough for them recently. They haven't been able to make it to these end games. So we haven't been able to see what they can do. They've had a lot of unlucky zone pulls. I know Malabuka's talked about that a lot. And once they do get zone, once they do get a few things going their way, they can pick up those refreshes. They're the results.
Guys, you do realize that this is my first week on an FNCS, and they've given me so much power. Are you aware of this?
Yeah.
I'm about to do it.
Maybe too much power.
I'm going to do it.
You gonna do it?
I'm going to do it.
Do it. Do it.
It's time for Storm Surge.
He loves it too much, I think.
I think he likes it a little too much.
Yeah, he does.
Gets better every time. Obviously, Storm Surge is a massive part of any Fortnite competitive game. That was the case once again here. Let's take a look at how Thomas HD and Malabuka are dealing with it.
Yeah, I just spoke about them not being able to win as many end games, and that's because of their Storm Surge. They haven't actually been doing that good on the Storm Surge front of things, but this game was very, very different. We saw them in the end game popping off, but of course, let's highlight a little bit earlier on. Their drop spot, of course, right here at the racetrack. It's a very, very difficult spot to get Surge from because, as you can see, there's not too many teams rotating all the way through. It's a very, very sort of open area, and you don't get many teams there.
Right, but luckily enough, they were able to find some quick eliminations off the spawn here by the racetrack, but that's not enough. They had trouble in the last match getting that Storm Surge, so luckily enough, the Rift Island did appear right on top of them, and they decided to quickly get a Rift, land on top of that Rift Island, and play a little bit more aggressive for Storm Surge, and it actually paid off as they ended up getting the loot from the capture point here, and even you can see a good amount of tags.
Yeah, we saw them doing this a lot at the beginning of the season, right the way in week number 1, and it didn't really work out too well for them. They were a little bit inconsistent, but why not? They're at this stage of the tournament right now. Their Storm Surge is not looking too great, so they're fixing it by going up to this Rift Island. You can guarantee that teams are going to be up there, and you can also guarantee that teams are going to be rotating down below, and we see that with Thomas HD with that dangerous Mammoth pistol aim. I mean, I wouldn't want to be rotating below.
Yeah, and we see Takata, despite being nerfed a good chunk, right, it's still lighting them up, isn't it?
I mean, there's a reason almost every duo has the Mammoth pistol in their inventory, especially in the early mid game and even the late game. I mean, they've always got it.
It's fun to watch, though, isn't it? I think
Yeah,
it's been a
great.
different dynamic, hasn't it? But as a viewer, it's great.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I love the island fights. I think Thomas and Malabuka thought, right, we need Surge. We need to try and find players. Where are players going to be? It's the Rift Island. They're like bees around honey, and it's great.
Yeah. Do you think that this time round, are we going to see Thomas HD, you know, now they've found their feet, are they going to continue and start to go, hey, guys, we're back?
Look, they're going to keep playing aggressive. They got that little light bulb above their head with the Rift Island appearing on top of them, but I know that, you know, they might try and continue that aggression going forward in these next matches, and we know how confident they can be as a duo, so I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to get to endgame.
One thing I'm learning here is that Fortnite moves fast. You are, of course, watching the FNCS EU Major 3 Grand Finals, and it is now time for game number 9. Yeah.
Another glorious game on EU. I just have one thing to say, Helevin. Hashtag free the island. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want more island parties, everything out there.
Free it up, man. Do you know what I'm saying? What we really hiding from here?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody wants a party. I want a party. I know you want a party.
You like Rift Islands?
I love it.
I love Rift Islands. They're lit. They're so much fun.
more parties in.
More parties, yeah. I mean, you saw Thomas Malbuka in that instance. You saw Tini and Misha. You can't even hide anywhere on that island. It's just nuts.
Yeah, I think the big thing with Misha and Tini is that, like, at this point, everybody in that general area of the map where they're choosing their spots, they know their gimmicks. But we're familiar with your game now. You can't fool us. Every single door, we're going to be ready and waiting for them to be hiding on the other side. And we see it cost them in that game. And it almost just sort of meant that there was a delay, a lag in their game plan where they were sort of just trying to catch up to where they used to be.
No, absolutely. Towards the very end, there was even more action. Now we start over back at the beginning in game number 9. And the best part about that game was just Kylie's domain expansion. This man knew every single pixel that was moving from high ground to low and just finessed the entire last 4 eliminations. It was so much fun to watch.
Okay.
Tune back in though with business as usual. Honestly, business that's just chaotic now. I've seen this fight too many times. I want Pablo Wingo Bevies to switch it up, get inside that castle. That's exactly what they're gonna try to do. I don't think Pablo actually landed up top, so he goes down low. Ooh, spray in the way. 7 HP, he gets to live to see another day. Pablo Wingo Bevies might be here to play a game. Shankos, some minis. I see a pickaxe, and yeah, does have a weapon. 2v1, Pablo low. I think they both share about almost the same amount of HP. Weapon's about to be let loose. They actually go off the other side, window towards the right, and then once again, a distraction for Pablo to bring it forth on the left. They are here to play their 3rd game.
Eureka! Finally! Celebrate! Pablo Wingu and Bevies finally get to play a game. And for a moment there, it didn't look like it. I thought Pablo was about to go down. When he ran straight through and Shakos Skybin was waiting with a shotgun, I thought it was wraps. But like you say, man, it's their 3rd game they get to play, and hopefully they make it a good one.
Hey, if you're Pablo in that situation, never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
That's what I'm talking about. He didn't. Continue with the spray. I don't think this duo should either. Thomas Malbuka, one good game.
That's all it takes. It's all it takes from them. One good game. Mini and Takata talking about the sort of plan for Surge and how they are approaching things now. And of course, Osborne, a bit of extra damage will certainly help.
Let's go!
I thought people would be familiar by now. But look who it is getting caught out for Nyan and Moneymaker. Caught asleep.
Nyan, why you opening doors? You don't open doors in EU.
Come on.
You don't open doors.
You've got to know by now. You've got to know.
Textbook 101. Merry Christmas, by the way, for them. Gonna be looking good with all that loot. Some nice presents. Flixie, Grippe. I'm always just seeing panic and shambles. I want to see Flixie and Grippe in a good spot with some control. Now 1v2. It's gonna be Kiri and User. And they're gonna be patient here as Flixie has to back up. No control, no power from up top, so no chance for him to continue the fight. Starting on the one wall that has no cone on it. I like that from User. They're gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, Flixie and Grippe not having the best of tournaments, and they are a team we will be watching at the Globals. They have qualified already, so we want to start to see them showing off what they can do come time for Global Championships. Kirito and User pick up a nice pair of elims there.
Noticing an update too. I mean, we're seeing some crazy clutches from the likes of Kylie. We're watching nice aggression and surprise, door openings from Misha and Tini. But every single game, Swizzy and Putrick, yeah, they're in that end game. They're in second, third place. 100-point lead is even great in it.
Yeah, sure. You know, it hurts to lose a 2v1 for the potential victory royale, but at the end of the day, they still get second place with some eliminations. It's just stretching their lead even further. And we're starting to head to that point in the competition, Shai, where if they have one more good game, you're looking at it going, okay, it's a fight for second now.
Yeah.
Because these guys are not letting up at all, it seems.
Yeah, they're not at a grand ball. This isn't a high-function dinner. There's no butlers with, silver cutlery giving these guys the entire game on a plate. That last game, they had a crazy rotation that Swizzy was accurately maneuvering through, and then eventually go for a hype take, then get knocked off of height, then still secure second place. I mean, they're really fighting for all these games. You might be saying, maybe they'll just have one bad game. They're moving through bad circumstances, moment after moment, day after day, which is huge. Nathan Jakey's want to do that too. I see 2 eliminations on the board for them. How did that happen?
to Blurfire. Nicely done.